Welcome to another episode of the Nuclear Medicine, Molecular Medicine podcast. And I'm sorry we haven't had a podcast for quite a while. We've been crazy busy. I've been crazy busy with all my stuff. Hopefully we'll have a bit more time shortly. And I'm going to the Society of Nuclear Medicine meeting in a few weeks' time. So I hope I can catch up from technologists to research support and the various other bits and pieces. So it'll be great to catch up with your Society of Nuclear Medicine. Now, I'm here in Melbourne, my hometown as it will, and we had just had a great talk at the Australian New Zealand Society of Nuclear Medicine meeting with Andrew Chain. And could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a nuclear medicine physics trainee, currently at Austin Hospital. Did my undergraduate and postgraduate at the University of Wollongong. Did a bit of research at AustinThe, got some patents, a lot of publications, a lot of experience across a wide range of medical physics, protons, neutrons, PET imaging, SPECT imaging now. And yes, I'm a trainee, finishing up, and hopefully I'll be a real nuclear medicine physicist very soon.
Excellent. Well, I was really impressed by the work that you presented here. It did something that was super useful and super valuable, and that was put a whole lot of stuff together that nuclear medicine physicists, nuclear medicine technologists, nuclear medicine doctors would love to use on a day-to-day basis, and things. There's lots of calculations. There's lots of processes, there's lots of things that we do all the time, and they involve looking up, finding the right book, finding a folder with this written away somewhere, finding a computer that's shoved away in a cupboard that maybe used once a year that someone's lost or can't find the password to run a particular process. But what you've done is you've consolidated a whole pile of stuff together and it's available on GitHub, right?
That's correct. Free, open source. Anyone can use it, download it, change it.
It's huge. I mean, the number of things that you could do on that. Why don't you tell us a bit about what you've done and the different things that you've done with this?
So I've tried to compile and make lives a little bit easier for both myself and at my hospital. And it's about consolidating these tools so that they don't get lost. The question is always, what happens if the IT procedures and policies change? What happens if there's a Windows update and it breaks our applications? And why am I only locked down to using one version of Windows with one computer that requires all of this bespoke software? Most of the calculations that we're doing, you could do with a simple calculator, but understanding that process, understanding what inputs you need in order to get the outputs, it can be very time consuming and very challenging. So consolidating everything down, whether it be a radiation management for your storeroom, being able to track and log what items are in your storeroom, how radioactive are they, when are they going to be predicted to be able to be released, allows for better management of that. To our patients that we give radioiodine therapy, lutetium therapy, or some new therapies that are coming up in the future, we want to track and maybe try to get a little bit of a prediction when they can go home, or how are they following the decay of the radiation or the release outside, that excess that's being released during their treatment. Can we try to get a prediction of when they're going home for their peace of mind, also for your own peace of mind, to just make sure, no, you're not crazy. It is tracking with the population. Just to give you a little bit more information and try to understand what's going on.
Right, so you had calculations for GFRs, for when is this a radiation incident, all of those kinds of things that really are important in terms of day-to-day management, or just emergency management that might happen. Let's say you gave the example of when an iodine patient discharged themselves, right?
Yeah.
And whether we should be concerned about that. You had process and protocols about decay charts and isotope decay charts and isotope calculations, shielding calculations were in there, were they?
I think there were some basic shielding calculations.
So a whole lot of different things that are incredibly useful on on a day-to-day basis and put together. Now, by putting it on GitHub, it means that other people can contribute, right?
That's the whole idea.
Right.
My heart breaks with all the tools that are out there.
So I guarantee if you've got a department with physicists, they've all made their little bespoke tools on a million different little computers, right? And they've all got to find them, and they're all different. And when that person leaves or whatever, it disappears, right? But if you put it in one calculation, now we have seen some websites before, RedCalc, for example, which is the one that's got sort of calculation things that people use. That's really useful. But it doesn't have a lot of this stuff in it. It doesn't have the kind of ability to customize it to your, because GitHub, you can customize it to your local needs as well. You may live in Texas, which is, I know, has got particularly lenient, there are different radiation regulations that might occur in Melbourne, for example, in terms of discharge limits. You might have other sorts of things. So being able to put all of these tools in one place, I think, is incredibly useful.
Yeah, that's my whole philosophy about it. I don't want to keep reinventing the wheel every time something comes up. Chances are, whatever we do in our practice, all these scenarios, 1,000 other people have seen it last week alone. So why do I need to do these calculations? And even the website, you don't even need to use the output of it. It can even be a really sanity checking tool. Like if it says, as a worst case scenario, this number, why am I 1,000 times higher than it? If I'm 10%, 20%, even a factor 2 or 3, then that gives me more confidence in my calculations that I've done it right. And some of these calculations can be very difficult, and maybe you do them once a year, maybe you do them once every 5 years. Right. So being able to have that little bit of reassurance in your calculations that, yes, I haven't completely gone crazy.
Right, and it's easy enough to put the decimal point in the wrong place, right?
It definitely is.
You know, so I mean, a really useful tool. I'd really encourage, and it's okay if we, release this to the world as such.
It's already up there.
Right? So I really encourage you to go to the website. I'm going to put it on this podcast. I'm going to put the QR code on there. I want you to go and use that. I want all of your physicists, whether you're in Europe and we know how complex things get in Europe with all the different things. Remember, this isn't a TGA approved product. This isn't
it's
FDA.
A tool.
It's a tool for you to do for your own personal use, for a bit of sanity checking and things like that. But I'm sure that's going to be incredibly valuable to everybody who really works in nuclear medicine. And increasingly, these sort of calculations are important because nuclear medicine is now a theranostics place where we're giving radioactive stuff to people, where we're doing calculations of dose and decay and washout and all those sorts of things. So having these kind of tools available, I think, is incredibly valuable.
Yep, that's my vision.
So is there anything else you'd like to add to this?
No, I just want to encourage everyone, don't just go and use it. Understand it, modify it to your own needs and your own local conditions. And if you find any problems, suggest fixes, or it's on Git. You can fix it yourself. And that's where I want the real power of it. You mentioned RadCalc. If there's an error with it or it goes down one day, it's a wonderful resource and It's gone. I want this to grow and evolve and be a living piece of code that we can all share and use.
Absolutely, and it's very useful to have code that you can just run on your own computer and do that without having to rely on RadCalc. And who knows? The people supporting RadCalc might just go away one day. So I think this is a really wonderful tool, and thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks.